you like to be more successful?
Easy switch from crypto to fiat to non-regulated and regulated.
Welcome to the Lydian world, the blockchain game where you can earn, learn, and have fun. 2022, the world has changed, the internet changed, and the rise of the blockchain changed the entire industry and forced us to rethink. Blockchain gaming became the day-to-day opportunity to generate income. Some chase the mining, while others are doing the trading. The pursuit of our unlimited incoming resources has begun. Whatever it takes, leaving behind the unknown and embracing the new technology, the new era, the Lydian world. Here, the unlimited income resources are waiting to be claimed, but not without our engagement. We are the driving force of the Lydian world. We are the Lydians. The strategy is entirely in our hands, and we can choose which citizenship to get in order to build a future for our beloved ones. passionate about mining or in need of a crypto-friendly credit card. A highly active trader who needs extra guidance. A developer who wants to promote his project. Or a society-educated gamer who aims to make profits out of his own NFT shop. And enjoys the time gaps with the Telegram trivia. You are connecting to the Lydian World Incoming Resources. Every single action of more than already 350,000 citizens is distributing rewards into Lydian World. Every time a card is swiped, every time an NFT transfer is completed, while you play, even while you sleep, Lydian World rewards you. It continues with a new vision, but do you know what marks the success? Perseverance, imagining the unimagined, and above all, possessing your own piece of virtual land to transform a grand idea into a grand reality. Pick a land. Press a button. Up you go. Behold your decentralized property, built to stand the test of time. Open your own business and share it with the others. From outwards to the city center area, until zone by zone, the city is taken over by its citizens. Multiple digital businesses rise alongside. A new era of luxury, shopping arcades, medical offices. Throw open their doors to an unlimited era, the blockchain. But something is missing. The design of your building is a way to define your own business, where you can approach your own digital architect. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. After all, with the power to create and trade, whoever holds the land NFT shapes the city forever. So, what is your vision?
All right, good evening, everybody. Glad that you can make it to this Far Money Network, New Millennium Bankers, the Future of Money show. Now, we have a extremely powerful broadcast, a show for you tonight. This is part 2. This is the sequel to what we did 2 weeks ago when we talked about with the BRIC nations. New currency replaced the United States dollar. Now, we told us, as promised, that we was going to bring this out. We was going to do a part 2 to this, and we might even do part 3, part 4. But as of right now, we're going to run part 2, and we want to talk about this because this is a conversation that we need to have. It don't really matter what you are involved in. This has an effect on everybody, and if we're not paying attention to what's going on, then we could get lost in the sauce if we don't really understand what's really taking place, right? It's the changing of the worlds. It is taking place. The changing of governments, changing of power shifting. It is shifting away from the West. It is that in Russia, for the most part, is leading this charge. They're tired of being dominated and being, with sanctions and all type of stuff on the United States government. But before we get into that, thank y'all for tuning in. Please, family, if you can, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Far Money Network. Subscribe to our team channel, New Millennium Bankers, our sister brand, and also, family, follow us on all social media platforms. Now we want to get into it, family, because what we have here and what we do in Far Money Network, this is the Future Money Show. So we like to go over gold spot price. And we like to take a look at this and see what's going on with gold. What's going on? Because, see, people say a lot of stuff about us because we're in the crypto now. We've been in the crypto for the last almost 6 years consistently. Since 2018, we've been in it. And understanding this technology has absolutely changed my life. It has changed my scope and my financial IQ. And I'm living like a life of my dreams almost, right? And it is so unique because we in a system. We was in a gold system. We brought you that. Now, COVID caused that gold system to go out of business like any other business. So it didn't withstand what went on with COVID-19. However, what emerged from this is what we have now with Gold Standard Bank, Gold Standard Bank Partners. Now, and we're going to also go and take a look at our Lydian World Metaverse. So you want to stick around. You want to get everybody here. So go ahead and share this out. Text this to everybody that you know. Let them know that the Future Money Show is on. We're back. Last weekend I was in LA, and it's a big time difference over there. But we actually had a Eid celebration going on. So Eid Mubarak to all of the Muslims around the world that did celebrate and practice Ramadan. Last Saturday, me, my sponsor, my brother Kevin 2X, my brother David Jennings, and my brother Frank Muhammad, and all of us are also business partners as well. We was in Los Angeles, California, and we celebrated the Eid last Saturday night, and we had an amazing time. But tonight, I'm back at home, back in Central Florida, back in Tampa, back in my home base office. And so now we have the Future Money Show. And for the next May, I don't think I have any traveling arrangement going on in May so far. So we should run consecutive shows that's going to be dealing with this. We got new information coming out about BlackRock. I know that's been a stream that we've put off for quite some time. So be on the lookout for that. That might be next Saturday. If I had a time to really put that stream together, we got new information about BlackRock. You don't want to miss it. All right. And also Vanguard. If you haven't heard about that, go Google it. You're going to be surprised what you find out. So let's take a look at the price of gold, because we in Far Money Network. We started with gold, and we haven't changed. We believe gold is going to be the new medium of exchange. How it's going to happen? I think, my humble opinion, I think that the blockchain is going to issue this in. I think things are going to be priced in gold. But I do think we will have other currencies, but we won't have that paper stuff. And we won't have currencies that can inflate. We won't have currency where somebody can just print. We're going to have these currencies be connected to utility. That's what I believe. All right. And that might not be the end all say all, but it will be connected some kind of way to gold. Gold spot price of gold, an ounce of gold, closed yesterday on the market at $1,989.53. That's the price of gold. Now, I want you to understand, family. Now, please listen to me. Because everybody talk to us about getting gold. Everybody talk about silver. They talk about this. This is insurance. Okay? Now, when the fiat currencies go away, now it's a strong possibility that you will be able to get more, but you will have to come off of the gold or the silver. You feel what I'm saying? So this is insurance. So it's a universal money. Gold is money. All right. But the enemy has made cash by means on way we buy stuff. So when the dollar falls, when all these other fiat currencies fall, then you will be able to use your gold as a medium of exchange. But right now you cannot do that. And gold, it is a wealth attractor. It is a wealth attractor, right? And gold is insurance though. So gold is not going to give you no dividends, especially if you got the physical precious metal. If you got the metal, gold is going to give you, it's not going to give you any dividends. You're not going to get a return. It's not going to put any more income in your pocket, but it will secure you in case of a blackout, in case of a major global crisis. And we're really in a crisis right now. All right. But that's gold. However, this is Far Money Network, New Millennium Bankers. So we don't just talk about money, the real stuff. We also hit you with the currencies, cryptocurrencies that have the date. And the cryptocurrencies that have the date are, it is the blockchain. It is Bitcoin. It is Ethereum. It is the G9999. It is these coins. So you look at the cryptocurrency market. We're at $1.2 trillion market cap. Now, cryptocurrency, for those that say that, it got to almost a $3 trillion market cap back in 2020. Back in 2020, it got to almost $3 trillion. It was like 2.9 trillion. Now, cryptocurrency is a new market. It is a new thing. The blockchain, it is new when you compare it to other stuff. That's why you can't compare it to gold. It don't compare to it don't compare to real estate. It don't compare to silver. Don't compare it to that stuff that's been around for years. Compare it to what it is called. It is called cryptographic currency. So compare it to dollars. Compare it to euros. Compare it to the Forex market, because that's where the comparison belongs at. What can you do with it? What can you buy with crypto? What can you acquire with it? What can you do with it? How can you move it? Because we're sending money, but we're using centralized platforms. Like how many people saying, I run into people all the time, I don't trust Cash App. I don't got Cash App no more. Nobody, never met a person say, I don't trust the blockchain that know about it. You might don't trust a particular crypto exchange, a particular crypto coin, but the blockchain is the system. All right. And the fastest growing blockchain, and the blockchain with the most utility, that has its own decentralized cryptocurrency, it is the G999 mainnet coin. It is this coin here, the gas. See, listen, family, next month, we got a big event in Dubai. And we're going to introduce to the world our smart contract blockchain. Now, when we do this, just like you see up here at the top, you see Ethereum gas. Well, the gas to our blockchain is what? Is the G999 coin. Now, as we get closer to this event, this coin is starting to gain a little traction. We've been up all week for the most part, right? We are trading right now at 0.003 tenths, 3.5 tenths. We almost was at 4 tenths earlier today. We got the 0.038. Now, listen, this coin all-time high is like 5 cents. Like 5 pennies. All right. It's like 5 pennies. When it came out, it was like 2 pennies. But it has use. It has use case that you can do with it. It has stuff like that, right? So let's go and take a look at it. So I said that it's, look at that. 2 years ago, it was half of what it is today. 1 year ago, it was about at the same price. But why it ain't moving or what's going on? Well, it's really not being traded. See, look at the trading volume. On $11,500. So why should it be so exploded if it's not really moving and not traded? All right, because this is a utility coin. This is the point where we try to teach folks about it. No more will you be able to get into a project and just hold the coin and just think the coin is just going to explode if you don't check out its utility. We call those pump and dumps. So as I go to the data, the historical data, you will see that all-time high 2 years ago, the coin was at nearly 5 pennies, 0.049. That happened 2 years ago. We remember this date, right? It happened for a few hours. So we know the potential of this coin. It came out at like about 2 cents. So we're not tripping though. We in it for the long haul. The coin can go to 10 cents right now while we on here. I'm not going to sell any of my coins. Why? Because I know the roadmap. I know the future. I understand the technology. All right. So family, let's get into our article. But we did want to talk about crypto. Now, understand, crypto is the means on by what could get you rich in this day and time. Just understand that. Let me say that again. Crypto is the means by, if you're trying to get rich, if you're trying to get interest on your money, you're trying to get a return, you're trying to leverage it and utilize different markets without being subjective to the central banking system, then cryptocurrency That's what you need. Simple and plain. That's just actual facts. And we're open for any dialogue with anybody that might want to do it. Hey, we open for it because we got a lot of trolls out here, right? We're so fun, man. Listen, I was just looking at a troll video because I had actually exposed this person called Ponzi Patrol. Now, I had actually exposed this person in a private Zoom, and I put out a clip of him saying that our crypto card wasn't usable. We couldn't use it. And I showed him that I'm using it, but I said, Skip it, still use it. And he come back with another video saying something. He's on the argument and saying that we said we had a partnership with somebody, now we saying we don't. That's his only argument. But he's saying something as a Ponzi, but nobody's running around saying, I can't get my money out of GS Partners. GS Partners didn't pay me. We don't have liquidity problems. We don't have withdrawal problems. So I was just, because every time somebody comment, YouTube sent me a notification. So I looked at it and I was like, man, look at all of these Asians and these robots. These are bots. So he put out something and he just got a lot of people coming in there and agreeing with him. I know these half of them ain't real people. That's a whole of smoke screen. People saying they got the bot saying, oh, I was finna invest into that. I'm glad you put this out because I was finna do it. And his argument is so weak. It is so weak, right? So we really want it. We really inviting it, man. I mean, I live for this type of stuff, right? Why? Because when I got the facts about something, I'm not afraid to stand up on it. I'm not afraid to prove it. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you saying something, if you saying it's a GS Partners a Ponzi scheme, prove it. Prove it. And how can you prove it if you don't have anybody coming to the table that say they can't get their money out the platform? See what I'm saying? But we deal with this on a day-to-day basis. But I love it. I love it. You feel what I'm saying? It makes me get up in the morning, right? So let's get to it, family. Now, our topic for the day, will the BRICS new currency, if they roll it out, and we already, if you did not see the last video that we did 2 weeks ago about this same topic that we're on, this is part 2, this is the sequel of this series. If you did not see the sequel, part 1, please go back and watch it, because we also got to some information when the currency of the BRICS will be a cryptocurrency. It will operate over the blockchain. They already made that clear. So it don't matter if it's pegged to gold or whatever. They are going to use the blockchain to make this currency universal. That's what they're going to use. They already said that. All right. So a BRICS currency. Now, BRICS, for those that don't know, stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. But now they're adding more countries to their mutual bank. Now, the whole idea about the BRICS is they don't want to use the dollar. They don't want to use the dollar. Why? Because Washington, D.C., the government of the United States, headed by the Federal Reserve, they have weaponized the dollar through the IMF and the World Bank. The IMF stands for the International Monetary Fund. They have weaponized the dollar. So all of this stuff is happening, making it bad for us over here. We just haven't seen the effects of it yet because we haven't went into hyperinflation. But when hyperinflation happened, that means a loaf of bread might be $1,000. We haven't seen that. A loaf of bread might be $100, right? That's hyperinflation. When you went to the store one day and bread was about what it is now, $6, $7, and then you come back hours later or the next day, now it's $100 and going up from there. That's hyperinflation. We haven't seen that. And what's going to make us see it? When all of these other nations who are holding U.S. debt, these bonds, holding U.S. currencies, when they send those currencies back over here, it's lights out for the dollar. Bad day for us. So we're just trying to stay ahead, to stay in position, because we want to survive what's going to happen. And never forget, once they roll this out, America has to take Russia to war. They have to do it. It ain't no way around it. They got to collide with Russia. Now, what that's going to cause is going to cause pretty much all of the nations on the planet to war with each other. That's what it's going to cause. We talking about the war Armageddon. But this war is dealing with power. So now the power struggle is the currency. The dollar has been the number one reserve currency since 1944. All right? But they tricked the countries, and because they said the dollar was backed by gold, but they had already took the dollar off the gold standard in 1933. They officially did it in 1971. So all of this is connected. And I know some people, we have people saying, oh, I heard this before. What are you doing about it? If you have heard it and you're not acting on it, then it don't matter what you didn't heard. Do you know how to act on it? Do you know how to position yourself to win? We just trying to show you how to position yourself to not only survive, but also thrive while all of this is happening. So a BRICS currency could shake the dollar's dominance. So de-dollarization moment might finally be here. Now check this out. This article was just put out about 5 days ago. Not long ago. What ain't even 5 days ago? What the day is? Yeah, 5 days ago. April the 24th. Talk of de-dollarization in the air. Last month in India, Alexander Bokal, deputy chairman of Russia's State Duma, said that Russia is now spearheading the development of a new currency. Didn't I just say that? I just told y'all that. Now I'll let y'all know. I haven't read this article. Right? I didn't read this article ahead of time. I'm just telling you this is what all the other, but we know Russia is the one leading the BRICS. They lead in this. And they got China. They got a strong partnership with China. It is to be used for cross-border trade by the BRICS nation. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Weeks later in Beijing, Brazil's president chimed in. Every night he said he asked himself, why all countries have to base their trade on the dollar? See, this is big, man. This is what these folks talking about. This is big. This is finna kill the West. This is happening. This is happening. We gotta act. We can't sit back and just let it play out. We gotta get out of dollars. We don't want to get caught with dollars. So we ask you the question: would you rather have $1 billion in cash, $1 billion in gold, or $1 billion in the particular cryptocurrency of your choice? Give me $1 billion in the particular cryptocurrency of my choice. Why? Because it's borderless. The gold cool too, but I can't move and do about with the gold. If I had that much gold, you feel me? If I had $1 million worth of gold, $2 million worth of gold, I can't move like that with it. And you know you can't move like that with cash, but cash finna be obsolete anyway. So I definitely don't want the cash, for sure. But I would try my chance with the cryptocurrency. Why? Because I could be able to take me and my family, we can go anywhere on the planet and be able to access our money. That's the advantage of cryptocurrency. It's borderless. Listen, this was the president, quote, of Brazil said. He said every night, he said, he asked himself why all countries have to base their trade on the dollar, end quote. These developments complicate the narrative that the dollar's regime is stable because it is the one-eyed money in a land of blind individual competitors like the euro, yen, and won. As one economist put it, Europe is a museum, Japan is a nursing home, and China is a jail. He's not wrong, but a BRICS issued currency would be different. It had be like a new union of an up-and-coming discontents who, on the scale of GDP, now collectively outweigh not only the regime hegemon, but the United States, but the entire G7 weight class put together. Foreign governments wanting to liberate themselves from reliance on the United States dollar are anything but new. Murmurs in foreign capitals about a desire to dethrone the dollar have been making headlines since the 1960s. But the talk has yet to turn into results. By one measure, the dollar is now used in 84.3% of cross-border trade compared to just 4.5% for the Chinese yuan. And the habitual use of lies as an instrument of statecraft offers grounds for skepticism about anything Russia says. On a practical of questions, like much the other BRICS nations are on board with the proposal from Russia. For now, answers remain unclear. Nevertheless, at least based on the economists, a BRICS issued currency prospects for success are new. However, early plans for it are, and however, many practical questions remain unanswered. Such a currency really could dislodge the United States dollar as the reserve currency of BRICS members, unlike competitors proposed in the past, like a digital yuan. This hypothetical currency actually has the potential to usurp, or at least shake the dollar's place on the throne. Let's call the hypothetical currency the BRIC. If the BRICS use only the BRIC for international trade, they would remove an impediment that now thwarts their efforts to escape dollar hegemony. Those efforts now often take the form of bilateral agreements to denominate trade in non-dollar currencies like the yuan. Now, the main currency of trade between China and Russia is the yuan. The impediment: Russia is unwilling to source the rest of its imports from China. So after bilateral transaction between the two countries, Russia tends to want to park the proceeds and dollar-dominated assets to buy the rest of its imports from the rest of the world, which still uses the dollar for trade. If China and Russia each use only the BRIC for trade, however, Russia would not have any need to park the proceeds of bilateral trade in dollars. After all, Russia would be using BRICs, not dollars, to buy the rest of its imports, either at last de-dollarization. It is realistic to imagine the BRICs using only the BRIC for trade. Yes, for starters, they could fund the entirety of their import bills by themselves. 2022, as a whole, the BRICs ran a trade surplus, also known as a balance of payment surplus, of $387 billion, mostly thanks to China. The BRICs would also be poised to achieve a level of self-sufficiency in international trade that has eluded the world's other currency unions, because BRICS currency union, unlike any before it, would not be among countries united by shared territorial borders. Its members would likely be able to produce a wider range of goods than any existing monetary union. An artifact of geographic diversity that is an opening for a degree of self-sufficiency that has painfully eluded currency units defined by geographic concentration, like the Eurozone, also home to a $476 billion trade deficit in 2022. But the BRICs would not even need to trade only with each other, because each member of the BRICS grouping is an economic heavyweight in its own region. Countries around the world would likely be willing to do business in the BRIC. If Thailand felt compelled to use the BRIC to do business with China, Brazil's importers could still purchase shrimp from Thailand exporters, keeping Thailand's shrimp on Brazil's menu. Goods produced in one country could also circumvent trade restriction between two countries by being exported to and then re-exported from a third country. That's often a consequence of a new trade restriction, like tariffs. If the United States boycotted bilateral trade with China rather than trade in the BRIC, its children could continue to play with Chinese-made toys that became exports to countries like Vietnam and then exports to the United States. Right? A preview of something like the absolute worst case scenario that could befall consumers in BRICS countries if their governments adopted BRIC or bust. Terms of trade comes from today's Russia. American and European governments have privatized Russia's economy isolation. Nevertheless, some United States and European goods continue to flow into Russia. The costs for consumers are real, but not catastrophic. As officials in BRICS countries grow increasingly about their desire to de-dollarize, with today's Russia as an upper bound of how bad it could get, the risk-reward trade-off of de-dollarization would look increasingly attractive. To replace the dollar as a reserve currency among BRICS, the BRICS would also need safe assets to be parked in which when not in use for trade. It is realistic to imagine the BRIC finding these. Yes. For starters, because the BRICS run a trade and balance of payment surplus, the BRIC would not necessarily need to attract any foreign money at all. BRICS governments could use some combination of carrots and sticks to get their own households and firms to buy BRIC assets with their savings and effectively consult and subsidize the market into existence. But assets dominated in the BRIC would actually have characteristics likely to make them unusually attractive to foreign investors. Among the major drawbacks of gold as an asset class for global investors is that, in spite of its risk reducing value as a diversifier, it does not pay interest. Ooh, didn't I just hold up? Didn't I just say this? Man, we've been teaching y'all this science, man. Y'all is missing, sleeping on foreign money. Listen, family, didn't I just say this? Like, I'm trying, man, this is so deep. Did I just say this? Gold don't give you interest. So I have people, so you got to be thinking about a return on your money. All right, especially what we offer you in Gold Standard Bank. I mean, especially what we offer you return, we offer you a portfolio, we offer you fixed rate. We offering you this. This is what we have. You can get the gold with some of your return. And just hold it, because that's all you can do with gold is hold it. And I'm in no way saying you don't need it, but gold does not pay interest. It can go up in value, but remember, you got to liquidate the gold to get anything off of it. And this is not talking about the paper gold. It's not talking about a gold in stock. That ain't real gold. You can't convert your stock ETF of paper gold derivative into the real precious metals. You can't do it. You will have to cash that stock out, sell that stock for dollars, and then go get you some gold. So that stock market gold is not gold. It's not the physical thing. Since the BRICS reportedly plan to bag their new currency with gold and other metals with intrinsic value like rare earth metals, interest-paying assets dominated in BRIC would resemble interest-paying gold. That's an unusual characteristic. It is one that could make the assets dominated in the BRIC attractive to investors who want both the interest-bearing property of bonds and the diversifying properties of gold. Sure, for BRIC bonds to simply function as an interest-bearing version of gold, they had need to be perceived as having a relatively low risk of default. And the debt, even of sovereign governments in the BRIC countries, has non-trivial default risk. But these risks could be mitigated. Insurers of debt dominated in the BRIC could shorten debt maturities to lower the riskiness. Investors might trust a government in South Africa to pay you back 30 from now, when the unit of time is days, but not when it is in years. Prices could also simply compensate investors for that risk. If market participants demanded higher yields for buying BRIC assets, they could likely get them. That's because BRICS government would be willing to pay for the viability of the BRIC. The BRIC, to be fair, would raise of thorny practical concerns used primarily for international trade rather than domestic circulation within any one country. But the BRIC would complicate the job of national central bankers in BRICS countries. Creating a subnational central bank like the European Central Bank to manage the BRIC would also take work. These are challenges, but not necessarily insurmountable ones. The geopolitics among BRICS members is also thorny, but a BRICS currency would represent cooperation in a well-defined area where interests align. Countries like India and China may have security interests at odds with each other, but India and China do share interest in the dollar. They want to get out of the dollar. And they can cooperate on shared interests while competing on others. The BRIC would not so much snatch the crown off the dollar's head as shrink the size of the territory in its domain. Even if the BRICS de-dollarize, much of the world would still use dollars, and the global monetary order would become more multipolar than unpolar. Many Americans are inclined to limit declines in the dollar's global role. They should think before they limit. The dollar's global role has always been a double-edged sword for the United States. Though it does allow Washington to add sanctions to its foreign policies toolkit by raising the price of the United States dollar, it raises the cost of American goods and services to the rest of the world, decreasing exports and costing the United States jobs. But the side that cuts into America at home has been sharpening, and the side that cuts America's enemies abroad has been dulling. It's getting dull what they doing to other nations with the dollar. But it's punishing us, though, over here. Among those who understand that the dollar's global role comes at the expense of jobs and export competitiveness at home, at least based on comments from 2014, is Jared Bernstein, now head of the Washington Council of Economic Advisors. But these costs have only grown over time as the United States economy shrinks relative to the world's. Meanwhile, among the traditional benefits of the dollar's global role is America's ability to use financial sanctions to try to advance its security interests. But Washington sees the security interests of the United States in the 21st century as increasingly defined by competition with state actors like China and Russia. If that is correct, and if the checkered track record of sanctions on Russia is any indication, sanctions will become an increasingly ineffective tool of United States security policy. If the BRICS replace the dollar as the reserve currency of the BRICS, the reactions will be varied and bizarre. Applaud seems poised to come loudly from officials in BRICS countries with anti-imperialism dispositions, from certain Republicans in the United States Senate and from United States President Joe Biden type top economists. Boos seem to pause to emanate from both former United States President Donald Trump and the United States national security community that he so often furrows with. Either way, the dollar regime isn't likely to end overnight, but a BRIC will begin the slow erosion of its dominance. Woo! What a powerful article that is, family. So, family, we do this because we want you to be able to think. We want you to be able to get out of this. Why should we have to suffer when we've been suffering the whole time? So, family, this is the time that we got to think, well, it's best we get out of dollars because the dollar is going down. And like he said, it ain't going to happen overnight, but it's happening. It's happening now. And listen, that's his opinion about what the BRICS currency going to be. If they make a currency, I want y'all to picture this. I want y'all to think about this. Y'all with me? Everybody all right? If everybody all right, type of 1 in the comment if you all right. If you with me now, because we want to go deep a little bit here now. I want y'all to hear this. And I want you to think about this. I want you to dream on this. Type of 1 in the comment section on Facebook or YouTube if you hear me. If you're okay. If you hear me. If you following us. Okay, type of 1. Let me see. Thank you, Colleen. Hey, Miss Williams, thank you. Been meaning to call you too, Miss Williams. Will do. Hey, Miss Addison. Wild Leg of Salon, Majid. Masjid. All right, so type of 1 if you hear us. Okay. On YouTube, okay, 1, okay. So listen, fam. I want y'all to hear this. If the BRICS nation produce a cryptocurrency and they peg that cryptocurrency to gold, it will collapse the dollar faster than we think. I know what he said about gold don't look interest investors in. This is a currency. This is a currency. These investors will use gold if they can use it as a currency. Investors stay away from gold because it can't be used as a currency. But if gold would ever be placed into a currency form, it will collapse this fiat currency system. That's just a fact. That's just understanding that gold is money itself. So if they produce this cryptocurrency and they bag it by gold, so just say, for instance, say they have a billion of these BRICS coins or whatever coin they come out with, whatever currency they call it. Just say they got a billion of them, right? 1 billion. And say it's $1 billion worth of gold, however many tons that can be. However many that can be. Do y'all see the uses in it? Now we, as crypto traders and whatever else, would be trading for these currencies. For that brick currency, if it's gold. Because if everything is priced at gold, say everything get priced at gold. Say what if that house is 5 ounces of gold? Not 100,000. Just say 5, just say 150 ounces of gold, that new house. Which at today's gold price would only be about what? 200,000? Just say that. 50 ounces of gold for that new house. 10 ounces for that new car. Right? A few grams for that bread. 1 gram for bread or whatever. Because you can break gold down into grams. You can even break it down to tenths of a gram. But if they put it in crypto, they can break it down as small as it can go. As long as we would always be able to go somewhere and take the crypto and turn it into physical gold. Now, if that happens, we can say that it's done with the dollar because everybody will accept that for money. So Bitcoin can play a major role in this because stuff can be priced in Bitcoin. Little do y'all know it or not. How? Well, one Bitcoin makes up 100 million fractions, which they call Satoshis. So you can have 1 Satoshi. 1 Satoshi is literally like 0.000000001. That's 1 Satoshi. You feel me? So if Bitcoin can be broke down into 100 million pieces, just one, it's like 18 million Bitcoins in circulation. It will never be over 21 million. But if you can break one Bitcoin into 100 million parts, Satoshis, then it ain't nothing for this bread to be 5 Satoshis, 6 Satoshis, 10 Satoshis. You follow what I'm saying? This is how things can be priced at it. And it's no different from we in Lydian world. We experiencing it now. So let's get to that, family. So with that being said, family, let's shift gears here and let's go take a look at the metaverse because I want to show y'all what we're doing in this metaverse. But before we do that, let us take a quick commercial break, and we're going to wrap up, and we're going to end a hard stop at the top of the hour. But listen, I want y'all to watch this video, and when we come back, we're going to take you into the Lydian World metaverse, and I'm going to show you what we are already doing in this metaverse. You do not want to miss it. We're already into the future like the dollar don't exist. Take a look.
The origins of life in the universe. First stages in human evolution. First simple technologies that started making our life easier. Welcome to Lydian World. We are glad to introduce our multi-ecosystem. Here, the rewards are generated thanks to the fees applied to each service or product behind an income resource such as staking pools, credit card swipe commissions, mining fields, assisted trading, non-fungible tokens marketplace, interactive airdrops, mainnet masternodes, trivia games, etc. Available on platforms and devices. More than 3 million users expected by the end of 2022 could reach a milestone of $5 billion in total resources. Lydian World, the place where you can explore, earn, and have fun.
Now, I want y'all to take a look at this, right? So this is the Lydian World metaverse. This is, y'all see the virtual world map. Every country on the physical planet is in this virtual planet, right? This virtual world, Lydian World. Now, Lydian World operates with 2 coins, Lydian lions and Lydian status. Now, Lydian status can be broke down into fractions. If it's a utility coin, it can break down in fractions. Now, Lydian lion, 1 Lydian lion is $1. 1 Lydian lion is $1. One Lydian lion is equivalent to $1 price value in the metaverse. All right, the Lydian status is a utility coin, and it's liquid. Lydian lions is non-liquid. You got to use them in the metaverse. But Lydian status is a decentralized coin that's operating over the blockchain that can be traded for other cryptos. So when you look at Lydian World is a big, gigantic marketplace. Now, we're not the only one who have a metaverse and stuff sold in the metaverse is priced in a particular crypto, because you got Sandbox and all those other things. If you've heard of these metaverses, they are priced in Ethereum. They selling stuff in Ethereum, all right, and maybe a few other coins. However, they don't have what we have. So if you take this for an example, right? This is the world. So since we're talking about the BRICS, let's go to North Brazil. Now, North Brazil, it has something called citizenship. So when you get a citizenship, I'm a citizen of North Brazil, so I can't see the price. It has a president, it has all of the top political heads also well. But total citizens in this particular country is only 287. and available is 500,270 left. Now, everything that happens in Brazil that's connected to this metaverse, from real people walking around on the planet, whatever is sold in Brazil that's connected to our ecosystem, a portion of the fee will be paid to the citizens of this particular NFT holder. Because the citizenship is a NFT called NFT passports. But if I wanted to buy things here, like for instance, if I wanted to go to the NFT marketplace and buy these positions out of the market, well, what currency do I have to use? Am I using dollars or am I using status? Well, I'm using status. See, everything here is priced. See this coin here? It don't say dollars. It say 28 LYS. That's status for this citizenship here, which is seashells. And I don't think you can get seashells anymore. So eventually they're going to get what they want. All right. This one here is Dominica, 45 status. You can bid on them. They bidding on them. You don't have to. You can just put your NFTs up straight for sale. But you're paying for them with Lydian Lions. All right. We also have the digital land. These are just a few things that we got here so far. But now we got a bunch of more products. So imagine all these products coming in our Lydian World Metaverse. Because the ones who own, so look at it. So look at this. Sweden almost done with this zone. But look, I got a couple of plots of land over here, right? That I paid status for, like this one here. I paid 77.24 status for this particular plot of land in the metaverse. Now, coming soon, I'm going to be able to hire architecture and make a model, import it, and then make a model. I'll be able to mint it. I'll be able to sell it. I can rent it. I can just hold it and let the value go up. Because I got in somebody's way of owning all of this. You feel this? So somebody might want to come, hey, man, we want this whole strip right here. We want all of this. I can put my business in it. So all of these plots of land, they're going to be developed. They're going to be business. They're going to be all of that, right? Now, when you buy it, let me click here. So look at this. This plot here is available. 292 status. The status has $1 price right now, but it don't really matter what the price is. This is priced in status. And when other products come to the metaverse, they're going to be priced in status. So this is a big, gigantic marketplace like Amazon, and the currency is Lydian status. Oh my goodness. We are so far ahead. We literally like in 2030. Like we like in the next decade for real. So family, I just wanted to break that down just to show y'all we already doing it. We already pricing goods and services in another form of currency outside of dollar. This is the power of the blockchain and the power of the metaverse. So thank y'all for tuning in, family. Tap in. Gold Standard Bank, the Lydian World Metaverse. We finna change the game. Wait till we come from Dubai next month. Tap in. Don't miss it. See y'all Monday morning for a brand new Crypto Mornings, family. We out.